Arms, brought to you by Legs. Fresh and Buds now.
Fresh and
All right, folks, welcome back to yet another episode of Fresh and Buds. I'm your host, Tommy Fresh, and you are all my buds. And yes, you saw the title of the pod, you saw the picture, you saw the thumbnail. It is Taylor Morrow. He's back on the show against his will, but that is okay because I love forcing him to do it. How you doing, Taylor? Welcome back to the show.
What's up, buds? And the big bud himself, Tommy Fresh. Think I'm, could I just be the little bud since I'm on so often now?
Yeah, say so.
Bud two?
How
buds?
tall are you?
6 foot.
Okay. We'll workshop that. I am not. Yeah.
What are you,
Well,
5'4"?
I am 5'4". Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
No. It feels, if you know what, next to a 6 foot fellow like you, I'd feel like 5'4" because the presence alone would be just incredible. But
I think I'm a short 6 foot. I don't have tall guy energy.
Really?
Yeah.
You think?
No. I mean, I guess all of my best friends basically are like much taller than me. Like the two of my local flesh and blood guys who I like travel with and hang out with the most, they're like 6'2", 6'3", you know. So I'm the little fella. And I guess also my girlfriend says this, you're the tallest person I know with like a short person complex. And I'm like, well, I like grew up playing basketball, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like pretty little, you know?
Yeah.
Like Steph Curry, who's like an NBA short king, is way taller than me.
That is always crazy to think about. Steph Curry, like
Right?
You would just think is the shortest person alive if you watched only the NBA ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, listen, this is actually a nice little segue. We are changing the subject of Fresh and Buds from flesh and blood to heights only. People's heights. And, we're going to start with feet and inches, might get into meters and centimeters. We'll see. No, we're back from the silly business there. We are still doing Flesh and Blood here at Fresh and Buds for the foreseeable future, which there have been a lot of omens about the future in Flesh and Blood, and Omens is the newest set, so we're going to be talking about Limited because it's kind of gas. I mean, at least from my first impressions. So We're going to be talking about that. We're going to catch up with Taylor, and we're just going to have a good time. Just grab your tea, grab your coffee, your whiskey, whatever. Cozy up. This is going to be a good one. First of all, what's new? How you doing? Like, how's life?
Dude, life is actually really great. Like this time last year was really tough. You know, I was getting laid off from my teaching job. Let's see, it's June. So I don't know if it's June or September. I don't know. I'm selling my house, getting a divorce, having to move, etc. There was a lot of changes, you know, happening in my life and a lot of uncertainty. And I can't believe I made it through all of that. Like, look, you know, I've been in this big 2026 has been a big year of like intro and retrospection. And I feel like I've grown a lot as a person and kindled a lot of like myself, who I like was like, oh right, I like wasn't doing these things, or I wasn't checking in with this part of myself, or that sort of thing. So and I am now, and I'm like, oh yeah, I used to do that, or I used to feel that way. Do I still feel that way? No, I don't. Or yes, I do. Okay, cool. Let's be that. So it's just been a big year of growth 2026 has. And so I'm doing really good. I was telling you off camera, I just got hired I do have a job, but I'm going to have a new job doing middle school physical education next year, which I'm really excited about. It's a really good school. I really like a lot of the teachers. Yeah, so I'm like super stoked. So I'm doing great. Also, when this comes out, this is the other thing that's really going on in my life, and I'm trying not to freaking freak out about it, but I'm running a 30K race, trail race
Whoa.
that goes up a mountain on Saturday. So this like, when these come out?
Ooh.
Friday?
Thursday. But
Thursday. So right before, basically.
wow. 30K? That
Yeah.
is by my calculate. We're back. We're back in measuring units now. That is what? That's 18 miles?
Yeah, 18.6.
Nice. That is exciting. That'll be really cool. I mean, it sounds hard, but what's the deal? Is there a goal here with running, or is it just like I want to run up a mountain?
Yeah, so listeners of the Attack Action podcast and Patreon subscribers also will be getting our newsletter all the time. And basically what happened was my birthday's in March. And leading up to my birthday, I was like having trouble sleeping in February and March and stuff. And so I was kind of like, for whatever reason, trail running got algorithmed to me on YouTube. And I was just like laying in bed, like watching some like just people basically like kind of light vlogging while running in the mountains, right? And so it's mainly just like nice tones and beautiful scenery and a person talking every once in a while, you know? And it just really started putting me to sleep. And it was really nice. And then I had this dream leading up to my birthday that it was my birthday, but I was turning 40 and I was about to run 40 miles for my 40th birthday. And then I like woke up and I was like, fuck, man, that's like a good idea. I guess I'll do that. So I just turned 38. So now I'm on the goal of running 40 miles in my 40th year. So I've been running pretty consistently. Yeah.
That is, I mean, as the kids say, you locked in, right? You're locked in. You're doing a 30K. I mean, that's already a big step. I mean, from March, you made that decision in March, right? Or around March?
Yeah.
That's like, what, now 3 months later, 2 months later, you're like, you're actually doing a 30K up a mountain. And trail running's different, right? Now, I have a question for you. This is totally, this is coming back to the YouTube trail running.
It's all right. Yeah.
And I've watched some running videos as well, and they always have like a little camera here, but it doesn't look like they're holding anything. And now, is that coming out of like a backpack or something? What's the rig? Do you know?
I have no idea. I know now that they have drones that will just buzz behind you at a prescribed distance and like follow you.
Oh, wow.
You know? Yeah. So you could just have your drone like weaving through the trees as you're just like kind of jogging along, and your drone's just like back there filming you. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I wonder if I can get that before I go to Minneapolis next week to just follow me around at the calling.
You probably could. I think it even like, you know how like on some, like I know on my Google phone, like if I give it my palm while I'm standing in front of it, it notices that and then does a timer. You know, it like counts down and then we'll take a photo. I think they have that too. Like you can hold out your palm and then it like comes and flies into your palm. I could be getting a little too crazy, but I think the tech is there. You know,
those are falcons you're thinking of. Those are hawks.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Those
birds of prey.
Yeah, birds of prey mostly. But no, that's awesome. I mean, that's very exciting. I love that for you. And honestly, you know, as a former runner, I don't really run as much. I should get back into it. Maybe I'll try to hit 40 for my 40th. Just because, you know, if you could do it, I probably can't, but I will try. You know?
I mean, like I'm pretty sure I can just run. I could probably do it in 2 years for sure. You know, it's
Yes.
like 8 hours of running. You know what I mean? I know it sounds like a lot, but you like you're gonna like eat and you're gonna drink electrolytes and you're gonna stop. My idea is to find uh enough of my friends who will just do 5 miles with me, you know? So
Oh,
like an
yeah.
hour, just do like an hour with me. And then at like each little 5 mile increment maybe or so, I have like another friend and like some more food and stuff, you know, so I like get these like little aid moments. So if you want to fly out to California or whatever,
I
I'll
will
let you
do
know.
5 miles. And we got to
Yeah.
get like a really special baton for all the friends to hand off. I
Oh,
think
see? Yeah, this is
it's,
my grand idea for this. It's like what a great way to celebrate stuff, you know, would be. And kind of inspired, I have these two friends who are twins and they would do on their birthday, which is the day before mine. They would do a triathlon every year for their birthday and I never did it, but they would like do a tiny swim, a tiny bike ride and a tiny run. And I was just like that's crazy. And I'm not like a runner. I never thought I can distinctly remember in 6th grade when they had like they made us everybody try out for cross country
mm,
and I remember like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be fine at this. I love sports. I'm doing so good in like basketball and soccer and stuff. And I remember getting smoked. Like they were like, I forget how many laps we had to run around the whole school in like the field and stuff. And I was like, what the fuck? That's too many. I'll do
yeah.
one. And I just remember like dying and then writing off distance running for the rest of my life, I thought. But then for whatever reason in 2019 I trained for a half marathon and then you know I had this dream so I'm just like back on the wheel and it's been great. I just wrote about it in the newsletter about how I feel so capable, you know, how that's like a thing that has really been drawing me into it is that like you know just with my girlfriend the other day we just rattled off like 5 miles, like we're just like let's go run for an hour or whatever, let's just make it easy. And like before, you know, we were like, man, we really got to work up mentally to these 5 miles. And now it's like, oh yeah, we just did like an hour, like it was no problem. It's just nice to have that shift in perspective and feel like I can just grab my dog, get some water, have some food, some electrolytes, and just like go run around in the woods, which reminds me of like being a young boy, you know, literally playing in the woods with my dog all day. So it's been
Yeah.
great.
It's awesome. I mean, I ran cross country in high school and it's all mental, right? It's just all mental. And if you can just get in that right headspace, I think like, you know, that's just all it is. And but cross country is weird though. Like to, you know, you were right not to do it because like we were just like, you know, it's like we get this like you get this weird chip on your shoulder. You're like, our sports, your sports, punishment, and you know, like stuff like that, and
Yeah.
you know, and then we'd get in fights with the football kids in the locker room. You know, we'd lose, but you know,
Right.
we were fast. Well, actually, we weren't fast. We were just steady. But
As long as you had enough of a head start, they could never catch you.
yeah, they could never. They could, yeah, probably not catch us, but they would get tired anyway. But anyway, that's awesome. I'm super stoked for you. That'll be really cool. I'm gonna start working on that baton, and
Oh yeah,
that's gonna be sick.
you got 2 years, bud.
Easy, easy. Now let's talk about some flesh and blood.
Yeah.
Or we can go back to heights and measurements, but I think flesh and blood is.
How much is a stone? You know, that's a weight, a stone.
I've been don't. That's like a big over in the UK is a stone, right?
It's a stone, yeah.
I've been holding back my, you know, English person impression on this podcast for a long time, and if you mention the UK again, it's going to come out. But
All right. Don't tempt me with a good time.
and then I'm going to be canceled. But that's all right. I deserve it. How's the podcast?
Dude, the podcast is going great. I mean, Zane's paternity leave is about to end. It's in his contract, he's running out of weeks. So that'll be nice to get him back. We're weekly now. We're doing
Yeah.
weekly episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Which is cool. I know our ferocious fan base in Brazil is very excited. First comment was just like, so like, I know you're doing like a long episode and then a short episode, but what if all your episodes were the long episode? And I was like, you shut up and take what you get and you'll like it. But yeah, so that's going good. That's still pretty new, so we'll see how that goes. I think feedback has been positive. I don't know why it wouldn't be. People love us.
Yeah.
A dozen or so people love us, so it's great.
Well, make it a baker's dozen because I love you guys too.
Nice.
No, that's awesome. Weekly is obviously it comes with its own challenges. Just like doing it every week is a lot.
Yeah.
And you guys got the good vibe. I've now had all of the members on the pod, which is very cool. I caught Zane a little bit before the paternity leave, you know, and I don't know if he mentioned it on the podcast or he mentioned it off the podcast, but I was like, what are you talking about? And then I think he had like hinted, he's like, I'm going to take a leave from the podcast. Like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm having a kid. I was like, I just got you on this one. What are you? But that's awesome. Now, Flesh and Blood. What's new in the world of Flesh and Blood for you?
I mean, Omens of the Third Age is pretty new and is revitalizing me from my slumber. It has been a weird calendar year, in my opinion, for the regular person.
Yes.
And I'm in a really particular geographical area, so even if skirmishes were 45 minutes from my door, I still don't know if I would have done that. But yeah, it has been a really weird Flesh and Blood year. And maybe that's because I've been participating so much more than I ever have, in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Omens is out. That's freaking sweet.
It is. It is sweet. It's cool to play limited again, and we'll be talking about that. But that is the problem, like with Compendium, right? It's like I think it did a lot of good things for Silver Age, and we'll look back on the cards from it fondly. But the moment of it was a little bit like, man, I wish I was cracking packs and passing them left and then right and then left again, and. It just it feels like a little weird, right, for the regular person, because it gets you out to the LGS playing limited and stuff like that a little bit more than just like the hype of a supplemental set. But it is what it is. Now, I haven't talked about it because I did the set review last week, but they just launched the Silver Age voting, and it has concluded. Silver Age is a set, or not a set, a format, actually. Where you can play, and it's budget friendly, et cetera, et cetera. The three heroes that got slammed were Ira, KO, and Kano.
Correct.
And people were upset that Briar wasn't gotten, and people were also upset that LSS did not choose, apparently, to choose a fourth hero. Now, I don't remember them saying it was going to be an option for them to do the fourth hero, but apparently they had already chosen Kano, and that's why they did not do a fourth hero.
Yeah.
It was a little confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
what are your thoughts on it?
I have a lot of thoughts. I wanted to know, Tommy, how much are you like a big fan of Silver Age? Like, have you been doing that a lot? Like, how much did you participate in Silver Age stuff? Were you like, it's whatever. I just want to play a green guy with more cards. Or were you like, I don't know, green guy with fewer cards is cool.
I like Silver Age, right? I wouldn't say big fan, right? Like, I don't think young hero formats outside of limited have been my jam. Like, I wasn't really a Blitz guy.
Yeah.
I do like the power level for the most part. I think there's a lot of kinks to be worked out with the ban list, I think, still, but it's gonna take a moment. I think it's gonna take at least until Chain is in a full season for them to really understand what's going on, and for us to understand a lot of what's going on. But I played Pro Quest. Was that the season with Silver Age?
Yeah.
I played multiple Silver Age Pro Quests. I did have a good time. It was kind of a weird format, and then obviously everything changed again with the Ira stuff, and that was interesting. I felt like the actual format evolved throughout the season. The voting is cool, right? And we're only seeing the first stage of it. We're not seeing the full picture, I know, because then I think when we see what's voted off, not this end of this season, but in 2 seasons, then it's going to feel more like what they want it to feel like, I think. Where we're going to be like, oh, wow, Kano's gone for 2 seasons now, or whatever.
Yeah. What is it that you don't like about Sage?
What I don't like that in the competitive aspect, it feels a little, at least this past season, it felt like it kind of really narrowed down. And like, I think that just happens with this game sometimes. I would like to see it more open. I don't like some of the decisions on the ban list and the precons, really, but I understand it, if that makes sense. Like, like you tied your shoes together on this one. Like, you're like, you're gonna just trip and fall because like you're like, oh, we're selling this thing, but it's got stuff in there that people aren't going to be able to play, and they're not going to be able to pay $20 and win the calling or whatever. But so those are my critiques. Now, the things that I like about it, I do think it's fun, and in a casual setting, you can really play fun heroes, and it could be a good time, and like you can discover new cool things. Like every time there's a new set, there's fun little rares and commons that you otherwise wouldn't have really looked at, which is pretty cool. The fact that like I can play Scurv and win games is like, I think a good indicator for me with that format, and just like have fun. But it's imperfect, but to me, I still think CC is the perfect, or is close to perfect for this game. Anyway, but I understand why people like these young hero formats, but I don't know. What about you? What do you like? Where are you on the spectrum with Silver Age?
Good question. Yeah, I wanted to know how you felt, because I know you're like even-tempered person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
At least publicly, as Tommy Fresh, right?
As soon as I turn off these mics, I am punching the wall.
Yeah, totally freaking out. Briar, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Fake green person.
yeah. Just
flipping out. Yeah. I mean, there's a ton of merit for Silver Age. I don't really care so much what the meta is, because that's just like that's a revolving door, and those are always the parameters of like any of the formats that we play in the game, right?
Yeah.
What I do care about is like what upsets me. Well, everybody knows what all the good stuff is about Sage. It's quick, it's affordable. It's like, for me, it's really nice for the weekday armories. Like, I still have a lot of fun, and and it's super easy to participate with heroes that I don't normally get to play, because I'm just like, I just can't have a collection of every hero. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can spend $10 to get whatever commons and rares I need for whatever for the Scurv deck I want to play or whatever, But what's crazy to me is that they spent so much time, like LSS like does 60% of an idea. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, oh yeah, we're gonna retool 20 health format. Here it is, commons and rares. We'll have a ban list. We'll do voting, etc. And then they're like, they have no idea on like how to then convey the nuances of this format to everybody. You know what I mean? Like they ban chain out of nowhere. And then they're like, oh yeah, and then I guess maybe some of the cards in the precons might get banned. I guess, and then we'll just unban them because of like money,
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, oh yeah. So voting, by the way, is just gonna be like you click a button in your gym profile, And it's just like they're thinking of things as they come up, right? Which is like bothers me because I don't know why somebody didn't spend like a week or a month or a team of people to like think through all of these things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why is that not part of like the genesis of this? And then why do we, the customer, which I'm not like a real like capitalist person, but I don't like to feel like I'm being exploited a little bit. So why do we, the customer, have to then be the guinea pigs for this format in these ways? And then why do you then kind of sit on what feels like your pompous high horse and tell us about how, your decisions, right? Rather than just talk to us like frankly. Like it would be so much better. And I know somebody might comment, be like, well, they were pretty frank. I'm like, nah, their tone, dude. Like their tone is totally not like, like, hey, look, these cards are going to be in the pre-cons. We're going to have to unban them because it's going to affect our bottom line, which then affects you later, right? Like this is like a total thing we didn't think about. Sorry. We'll try to fix it in the future, right? Like just say it matter-of-factly like that. Rather than like, well, this is the way, dumb player. You don't make the game, so is the tone I get from them. And that bothers me.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but I do think, and this is something that I've had conversations with, locals and stuff like that, that I think the biggest issue with, like, whenever there is an issue, like, I think LSS does a lot of great things. And then when there's some not so great things, it's almost, to me, like 90% of the time, it's like, R&D or whatever, like the operations side did not talk to the marketing team, right? It's like the marketing team's like, we're going to do this. And then everybody making the game was like, no, we were doing this. And nobody told each other, right? And like this happens everywhere. This is not just an LSS problem. This happens like with companies all the time. Happens in my job all the time as a salesperson who has to sell something that the marketing team did not talk to us about. But, it's a pain, but it happens. Now, how do they fix that? Well, you just have to communicate. But yeah, I understand the tone could be taken that way. I think it's probably, there's a decision to be made when you write that stuff. Personally, when you're like how do I think I wouldn't want to have to write it, right? I wouldn't want to have to admit that we were wrong when, they were like, well, we wish the other people were, kind of writing this. And unfortunately, that's just kind of how it shakes out. But that's how I view the shortcomings of LSS. And I think there's an easy fix. Just talk. I feel like the departments are not talking to each other, right?
Yeah.
And I think that would solve not all the problems, but a lot of them, I think.
Which just like, yes, I agree. And it's weird to me that there's not, and maybe there is a PR person, and I don't know, and we don't know who it is, and or or whatever, you know what I mean? But it doesn't seem like there's somebody like helping manage how they talk to their community. You know what I mean? Because it's like the B&R list comes out and it's out for hours. And then they have a dev talk, which has the graphic for the percentages for the Sage voting. And they kind of talk a little bit. I mean, it was like a really weird dev talk. I felt like it was a promotion for set 20, right? As set 19 comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a weird like tone from Brian, who like interviews James, but they work together, you know? And I'm like, but you're interviewing him like you don't work there, but then later you guys are talking like you work together. So it's just like really interesting. And it doesn't really feel like a dev talk, right? It feels like marketing time rather than talking about like the development of like, okay, so we've been really into tokens, right? We had marking, we wanted to like, you know, now we want to play with flow counters in this macro, like talking about like the design of the game is what a dev talk to me feels like. This is more like admin talk.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's crazy to me that like, and I posted this on my Blue Sky, like for the love of God, just have that conversation and the article come out at the same freaking time. And you will save yourself like 10 hours of internet outrage, right?
Yeah.
Which I know you don't want to see the internet outrage, right?
Yeah.
And like, how is that not somebody's then job to say like, hey, these things got to come out at the same time? Because I've read this and I've watched this and I know that these two things talk to each other. And so they should be out at the same time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And it's funny, you know, I was thinking that the same thing you just said about like, this feels like they're just talking more about set 20 than actual set 19, right? Excuse me.
And it's weird for Brian also to say like, look, I'm not excited about any of the heroes in this set. But then I played it and I was like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. Like, what a weird thing to say when your set is cut as a pre-release weekend, my guy. Like,
yeah, it was a little strange. I was listening to it and I was like, oh no, like part of me, and we're going to talk about how, you know, the doubt that I had like was solved when I played the set, but like I was like, oh no, am I going to go to pre-release and it's going to suck? But
yeah,
it's a little strange. Yeah, like it makes sense. Put it all out together. You know, I think people are going to bitch and moan no matter what, right? That's just
of course, but
but yeah, you could save some of it, right? And
40%, who knows what percentage?
Yeah.
Any less would be great on everybody's mental health. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like it takes no time. The other thing I thought I have found is really weird about Sage, and I feel you wanting to segue off of this topic, but I want to get this out here as well too. Just the inner podcast in me, podcast host. There's kind of two things. One, the voting is a weird time, right? Doesn't it feel really weird? Like right before a new set comes out where we don't know how that set is going to affect our current meta, right?
Yeah.
And so then like we're like in the majority, and just like maybe you did ProQuest, maybe you didn't do skirmishes, and maybe you haven't been to like callings, you know, the last couple of callings after skirmishes, etc. So your player base has had like we've been playing it. It's June now, right? This game that came out. We've been playing it for 5 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
Almost half of the year. And maybe you played in the beginning, maybe you played at the end. So you're getting like people's feel for the format at way different times through like different seasons of play. You know what I mean? And so it feels like a weird time to vote, in my opinion. I don't know how to solve this, but I just know I was like, okay, well, I can't vote for anybody that's about to come out. That might be broken. And if I'm voting for people who just were there, what if they are then stamped down by who's coming out. You know what I mean? I was like, I can't. It's a weird time to try to predict on what I don't want to have in the meta, which also then makes it feel like my vote doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Can you understand that?
Yeah. I think it's a tough thing to solve. What I would be interested to see if rather because of like what you're saying, like I played during ProQuest and maybe like I interacted with it maybe online for a little bit, but like mostly like in person I played at ProQuest, maybe an armory or two, but it'd be interesting is every time you played an event, just like you click the drop down button to choose which hero you're playing, at the end when the event concludes, they send you like a little ping and gem. What's your vote for what you would like to see? Like then you have multiple votes throughout the. It's like whoever I lost to, which is who I voted for anyway, right? I'm voting for
who did you vote for?
I'm not saying no. I voted for Kano. Just I just feel like it. Kano just existing with Blaze coming in. I'm like, I don't need to be worrying about two different wizards when I'm playing this format. Was my thoughts. I was hoping that KO wouldn't go because I have that deck built, but luckily it's a budget format and I can interact with it anyway. But so like I think that or Taylor, you ready for this? So in the United States of America, they have this thing called the Electoral College, right? So basically, you kind of vote for people to vote for the thing that you want.
There you go.
We're a republic, right? What if we have a little bit of a republic thing and like we vote for
who you want to represent
the content creators who you want to go to New Zealand and vote in person and that would be fun, right?
That would be awesome. Yeah. And it's like in a weird way where we have to wear like a specific robe and hat and then like vote with like a long stick and snuff out like a certain colored candle or something like that.
It's so funny. Like all content would just move from there's no podcast, there's no gameplay. It's just people trying to convince people to vote for them. It's just politics. But you know what? It'd be fun.
True.
I
voted for Briar is who I voted for.
Okay.
I was like, new Rune Blade set. She's going to be too powerful, and that's okay that it didn't happen. I wasn't upset that my vote didn't get made. It just felt like I had to try to predict on what was going to make a bad time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like I like to play Briar. I mean, I played Briar in ProQuest and stuff, and Icelander at the Calling in San Diego. But yeah, I mean, maybe more frequent voting would be cooler, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Between if they're going to do ProQuest and Skirmish or Road to Nats Skirmish, wherever, like let's vote in between there. Let's shake that up. I guess they're maybe going to say like that's what the ban list is for or whatnot, but I'm like, screw that. You might not even need the ban list if we just freaking vote for it, So
yeah,
I don't know.
Possibly. It's tough. Like the community based decisions. It's like it's cool. I'm glad that we can vote, but it's definitely imperfect. But we'll see. Like I said, I think earlier, I was like, I think that we'll feel the true feel of what this format will be like in 2 seasons when we vote again. Because right now, this is the first, and it's shocking to a certain extent. You're like, whoa, okay. And then they had to like make a bunch of changes, and it was on the tail end of a lightning set. But
I also wish their dev vote I want to know what the particulars on that, because I feel I know I'm really going after Brian on this podcast. I feel like it's Brian's decision, and he maybe like water cooler talks with everybody. You know what I mean? But just my feeling in watching that dev talk when he said the devs, and then he referred to himself on him making those decisions, I was like, wait a second. By the dev vote, do you just mean yourself? Are you in charge of the? What I would like for that vote is for it to be separate from the community vote. You know what I mean? Or it has to be or you just freaking add them into the pool of I don't know. But like how presidents vote, you know what I mean? Because they're in the United States, because they're citizens of our country, they also just vote, which must be wild to like vote for yourself,
Yeah.
I do it all the
Wow.
time in our podcast, in our Discord.
I wrote myself in one of the things today when I voted in primaries. I was like, I could be a councilman.
Hell yeah, that would be great. I'd vote for you.
Thank you.
But what I really want for that vote, what I think would be cooler, is if it was a separate vote after the community has voted, they know the results, and then they just choose a fourth hero to shake up the meta based upon like their innate knowledge of like what they've tested and being devs and being like, oh, okay, well, if those three heroes are gone, we'll also just remove this one, and that'll really change the landscape, right? Because that's what we want, is the landscape to change, not just have to like fight against Briar and Oldham again for like a whole season. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree. I think that was the weirdest thing, because I didn't remember them saying that it was optional or whatever. I don't know. But like, maybe I don't really pay attention in general. So, it was strange. It was strange, but we'll see. I'll be playing in the showdown in Minneapolis, I guess, unless I day 2 the calling. I'll report back.
Okay.
I hope I just day 2 the calling.
It's all right to qualify for the showdown too.
I think so. I think I have Fang built. I think Fang's actually really sick. So we're going to do that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Love that.
Anywho. Fresh faves. Let's talk about some fresh faves. The first Omens fresh faves of the season. Omens of the Third Age, but the first fresh fave. Who's your favorite hero from Omens?
Basilio.
Oh.
O2. Brocilio. Swolcilio. He's got a 2 health buff.
Sure
and he's
does.
looking diesel. He's awesome. Yeah, super fun. Super fun to play. Ocilio Prime is also fun.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason doesn't scratch an itch for me. But the fiddly blockiness, the like, I don't know, the little Starfall minigame, that just like hits me right in my robot brain, and I'm like, yeah, this is fun as hell.
He's probably the best of the 3 in constructed. I mean, allegedly. So,
yeah,
I think, he's gonna do something. I mean, Tall Arcane has been good. He's got really cool cards. Just got awesome cards. Now,
oh yeah,
does that mean the new Volzar is your favorite weapon?
no, it's Pile Driver, aka Log.
Oh yeah,
that is my favorite weapon from the set Omens of the Third Age.
How we feeling about our girl, or mostly your girl? But I'm gonna for the.
Whoa! She's the people's hero.
Oh, the people's girl. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Betsy and Olympia are the people's champions, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can get behind that.
Yeah. I'm saying it here now.
Sure.
And maybe Bolton, but I don't know. Feel like it's Olympia and Betsy. I mean, feeling great. It's so funny to like, I mean, I've said this on my podcast a lot. LSS this is the funniest year of their life, dude. They're doing so many funny things. Like, they bring back Aurora and Acilio in the Lightning set. They like rip off David Bowie. They have a chance in Compendium and Super Slam to release Log, and they just don't. And it comes out in the Lightning Hero set. Like, that's so funny. I feel like they're doing that on purpose. That's trolling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because the suspense is built up, you're like, whoa, it must be like over-engineered, super tuned, etc. But it's like super not. It was like week 3 of heavy hitters, and you could probably go into the Purple Discord and somebody goes like, what if it was just like a Log that like you could wager with, and it's like a 4 for 6 that allows you to wager. Like that would be pretty sick, right? And people are like, yeah, it feels a little like maybe underpowered, but probably really what she needs, you know? And then just like years later, it's exactly that. You know what I mean?
Yep. It is. I mean, it's exactly what you'd expect, and I guess it's all right. Seems all right to me.
It's fine. It's also the only weapon with a dead person on it.
Really?
Yeah. All the other weapons are just like they're floating in some sort of
yeah, it's true.
nebulous space. This one has killed a person.
Yeah. That I didn't even realize that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good pick, I would say.
Thanks.
And it makes sense for you. Now, what was your favorite equipment?
I mean, it's got to be, what is it? The Plutonic Star Plate.
That's the lightning one?
Yeah, the legendary chest equipment. I know we're just picking bangers. Cool ass art. I would love it if this hero was in this set also. Like, whoever that is fucking cool. And it's just sick. Like, what a cool, like, really ties those heroes together in the constructed formats. I know you can't play it in limited, but it's just a really cool freaking chess piece that, like, works really well. I don't know if really Aurora is going to use this. But for Ziggy and Acilio, it seems really, really viable.
It's pretty cool. And it makes you think, and it gives you like a clue, right? For like people just deck building, or like when you open this, like let's say you went into the store, maybe bought a box, you're like, I'm gonna get into this game, and you open this, you're like, oh, so like these heroes want to be doing that, which is neat. What's your favorite class and/or talent card?
It's gotta
mostly
be
that in this set.
It is basically only that. I mean, well, first, I got to shout out in this moment Heaven's Claw, the most reprinted card, I think, in Flesh and Blood. This is its third set. Yeah, so it came out in Tales, it came out again in Rosetta, and then here it is again in Omens of the Third Age.
Shout out to Heaven's Claw. Was it in the First Strike deck, too?
Yes, I think so.
Wait, I can... looks like it. Rosetta.
Yeah.
The Lexi Blitz deck.
Most printed Flesh and Blood card.
Amazing.
Swarty getting hella royalties from that one. Good job for you, Swarty. Echo Flash is my pick.
Echo Flash.
Lightning Wizard instant. It's the yellow. It's deal 1 arcane damage to target hero, and then when this is put into your graveyard from anywhere, your hero deals 1 arcane damage to target hero.
What is the benefit of that here?
Well, so you can use Acilio's power and put it in the graveyard, right? And so that deals an arcane and trigger Starfall. And then because you've Acilio'd it, you can then play it, which deals an arcane, and then it goes to the graveyard and deals another arcane.
Pretty sick. Right? Pretty sick.
Yeah. So then if it gets like discarded, like if it's in your arsenal for some reason and CNC hits you and it goes to the graveyard, deals an arcane. If it goes off the top of your deck from like losing to Miller's Grindstone or something, deals an arcane, you know?
Pretty good. And if you can, what was the card in Rosetta that you can just discard to not amp, but everything is increased by 1 for the turn? It's like a mini wildfire. I forget what that one's called. You can do a lot of cool stuff with that. You can, if that's listen, I'm not a wizard player. I just look at things. I'm like, the one card, Eternal Flame or whatever from Rosetta. I was like, I'm gonna break this. This is gonna this card.
Oh yeah, the one you can play again, Eternal Inferno or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, it's like, I'm going to give this go again so many times. And then.
Yeah,
I'm gonna,
totally. This is going to be Gone in a Flash, but for Wizard.
Yeah. I was like, Channel Thunderstep. We did it. We're going. So.
Pretty good. It's cool. Hell yeah.
Yeah, but get your Channel Thundersteps now, folks. Actually, didn't they spike? They spiked when the set was announced. All right.
Yeah.
That's a good pick. What's your favorite generic card? Bonus points if it blocks for 2. I think there's only one option for block for 2 in this set. I think.
What if it? I almost picked a card that blocked for null, but when this podcast. Thank you. I know I'm switching because I didn't get to pick this in our art draft. So if you're listening to this and you've never listened to our podcast does something where we do a draft of the best art in the set. And then our listeners get a vote. And then whoever wins gets to lord it over the other podcast hosts. And one of my picks I wanted to get but got picked earlier, I think by Colin, was Step Between, which is a generic attack action. And it's got sweet ass macabre art, right? Yeah. And I'm liking this new design of while this is attacking or on the stack of stuff, Yeah. Like, I like that. And it's also modal because it has like a lot of cards in the set are doing this, like instant pay 1, do a thing, right? Which I think is really cool.
I agree. Step Between is awesome. Yeah. I would like to see that top text get turned into a keyword at some point in this game. I think that would be, like there was a keyword in Magic called Split Second, I believe, that like kind of was similar, and I always liked it. It was like, oh, this thing just like can't be countered or whatever, but like in this game, it's like no activated abilities, instance. I think that would be pretty cool, but. Great choice on Step Between, and it blocks for 2. Bonus points for you, Taylor.
Boom. Bonus.
Not a lot of tokens in the sets. Is Lightning Flow your favorite?
I think it's gotta be, right? It's pretty cool. It's a fun, embodiment of lightning also, right? I think those are the 2. Ponder token, a classic. But yeah, Lightning Flow, it's the new hotness. It's a cool mini game in Limited on like how much you have. You need to create them. They do stuff, I don't know. It's a cool little bit of design space. I'm feeling a little like okay, we need to do something else with what we're doing in the game, but it's still pretty fun, once you play with like the Lightning Flow and having to have it and access to that extra little thing you got to manage is cool. I like it.
Yeah. A new resource to mess around with. It is, and you don't realize how much you need it until it's gone.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no.
Shit, I don't have any. Frodius is coming at me. Oh no.
Now we've had
Aphrodite.
I guess like if you're the Aphrodite or deity, but Aphrodite is cool too. I don't know what it's pronounced actually. I'm assuming Aphrodite, but
it's got to be. It's Greek.
Yeah. Now lightning.
Lightning.
When we get in thunder as a talent. We've had a couple lightning heroes, lightning class. Depends on how far away it is. You gotta count, and then you'll get the thunder talent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Lightning. What's the next class you want to see get the lightning talent?
It's a great question. Man. Not really sure. We have Wizard, Runeblade, Illusionist now. I feel like it would be cool to maybe have like a Lightning Guardian. Would that be cool?
Maybe. Embodiments with a Guardian.
Would that be too crazy to give Spinal Crush go again with an embodiment of Lightning?
I think almost what I'm worried about is the sledge not a once per turn action?
That's true. That's true.
Just sledging a bunch. That'd be
You need 8
interesting.
resources, which I guess you could do, but yeah, I don't know. I think one of the isn't the one-handed hammers in action also. I don't know. Anyway,
Mhm.
maybe that is too broken, but I don't know. Just Guardians are so slow. It would be cool if they did faster stuff. I don't know. They retooled Ziggy to be quite a different type of illusionist, so why
Sure.
couldn't we have like a retooled different type of Guardian,
No, I agree. I think it would be interesting, some lightning. My concerns with this set for constructed have been kind of quelled,
Nice.
so far. But
Bring back Quell.
Quell was sick. Was it
Quell was
Uprising?
sick. Yeah.
Oof. What about Lightning Ninja? No, I'm kidding.
No, dude. It was like Ninja and Assassin are too obvious.
Lightning Brute.
Also too obvious for your podcast.
Yeah. Lightning. Wait. We've already had Lightning Ranger, but what about Lightning Trap Base Ranger? Be cool, right?
Lightning Mechanologist.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that kind of makes just sense, to be honest. You got to power that stuff somehow. But I think Necromancer is probably the next Lightning.
Lightning Pirate. I forget these are 2 classes,
Oh, yeah. Lightning Pirate would be cool, but I'm thinking Lightning Necromancer. It's like Dr. Frankenstein. You got to get like a bolt thing going. Like that'd be sick.
I can't believe that they're not like pumping out different necromancers. You know what I mean?
It's got to be coming set 20, man. It's got to be.
Who knows? There's young demons in set 20, maybe. Or old demons, who knows? They're certainly not token demon allies or demon demi-heroes or whatever. So who knows what's happening?
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be the culmination of that storyline that we're all following quite closely. Now, before we get to this, folks, I hope you strapped in. This is a banger of an episode. Has Omens, before we get to the main topic here, but has Omens kind of ranked into the annals of your GOAT set conversation?
I mean, in terms of limited, I'm willing to maybe put it in there. In terms of like other aspects, I'll have to wait and see.
Table it,
because Miss Vale, Rosetta, Junted were so sick because the heroes were also super sick, and the gameplay is super sick, and the limited was super sick, like all of that stuff. And I don't know so far with very few experiences, the limited environment of Omens is really cool, but is Aurora cool? Is Ziggy cool? Ocilio's definitely cool, but I feel like gets less points because he's alive in an alternate reality elsewhere or in the same reality. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, mechanically super fun, thematically pretty whatever. You know what I mean? So if we take the big picture, I don't know if it's going to usurp those things. It's pretty hard to get past, like, here's one hero, and then when you mark somebody, you're going to turn into one of 6 different heroes.
Yeah, that was crazy, right?
That was crazy.
Was a big moment, right?
Yeah.
We aren't really getting that, but mechanically, I do agree. This is feeling like very cool. You're like, oh wow, so many interactions and micro decisions to make throughout the game. It's very, very neat, and I think my guess is, I've only drafted it once now, but like I think there's going to be a couple different archetypes, and it'll be really cool. So that being said, main topic, boom. Wait, Omens is goated? Question mark, question mark, question mark. So anyway, to bring it down to the main topic, which we're going to do another 2 hours on. So
Easy.
The Omens pre-release was this weekend, and I, for one, had a great time. I really enjoyed it. It was a good experience. The first one I did, I was like, oh, I'm locked in. I know what I'm doing. This is easy. And then I got humbled. And then the next one I locked in, and I didn't get it as humbled. And I was like, okay, this is really cool. I like all these decisions. I'm like, wow, I didn't even, like, people were playing cards against me that I was like, I didn't even think about that when I looked at that card.
Yeah.
And that, to me, felt like a really huge indicator for me as like, oh, I'm excited to spend time with this set, draft it, play more sealed. I felt like the sealed was fun. So what are your thoughts?
I mean, I agree with a lot of that. I was pretty surprised. Like when you read some of the cards and you're like, oh, I guess they have this other like little mode that I got to pay for. That's, I don't know if I'm ever going to do that. That doesn't feel that efficient. But those moments where tactically it matters to like pay one, ping an arcane. You know what I mean? And that was a super sick moment where I was like, oh, fuck, this is useful right here. Like, that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? This doesn't feel powerful, but it is contextually powerful. And so the kind of the modality of a lot of the cards I was surprised by and then excited by. Like, oh, okay, so then if I'm clever enough, I could use these cards in a way that maybe my opponent didn't expect. And that is really nice, right? Like that's the whole, I feel like, point of limited, or not the whole point, but one of the big parts of limited I like is the being able to like figure those things out and feel clever, right?
Yeah. And seeing other people do the stuff is like really cool to see, because you're like, oh man, it's like you just like learning. I felt like I was learning all 6 rounds or 8 rounds, whatever I played over the weekend, and it was pretty neat.
Yes, totally. And I mean, I know a lot of people are saying like already like Osilio's really powerful and maybe he's the strongest, blah, blah, blah. It's like, in a limited set, those things only matter if it's just so broken. It's like 5 people in the pod can force it and still 3-0 the pod. You know what I mean? Like if there's enough cards for that to happen. Which I don't think there is. And it's just super, super early. And Nationals is going to come, and there's going to be people who are putting in a lot of time for this, and gonna, maybe showcase some stuff none of us have thought about, which is going to be cool, And so as long as like, one hero gets overdrafted and then somebody else comes along and is powerful, like, I don't know. There's just like a lot of cool stuff that can happen, I don't. Aurora still feels like it could be really cool and strong, and Ziggy for sure is really strong. I don't know. Just it's like a cool set that is like fiddly in this really fun way. Like you said, there's like all these like parts to interact, but it's not like I don't know, complicated in a way that feels like unattainable, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like we had some new people at our pre-release, and I know a little bit more than them. I was like, oh no, this works this way or whatever. Actually, you should do it this way, or because it's just casual. And they're like, oh. And then like after the game, he was like, okay, so wait, so this card interacts with and they're picking up those interactions like right away. And I was like, yeah, exactly. And he's like, oh, cool. So then I'll change this card out in this card. I was like, yeah, that's a cool interaction there. And so I think that's huge too, right? Is it being like new player friendly in that way?
Yeah, it was also fun to watch. I think personally, I was really enjoying Ziggy. Right, Ziggy was, I think, like the coolest to me. Right, in terms of like what Ziggy was doing, what their game plan was, figuring out their game plan, and then also like seeing like illusionist players kind of like have to like totally change the way they think about the that hero or that class. And even talking to some people while building, because I had played one on Friday and then I played one on Saturday. I was talking to somebody next to me, and they're like, "What do we even do with Ziggy?" I'm like, "Well, I think you want to do this, right? Like this is what I think." And they're like, "Oh, really?" It's like, I thought I would just want to like try to activate the weapon every turn. I'm like, I actually don't think that's the case, right? Like I think like you can try to do that, but I think it really needs to line up. And I felt like there was a lot of really cool, like more cool conversations happening at the table. Yeah. Like when people are building and talking about the set than I've experienced probably in a while, right? Like where, because it's like, it feels like a different axis, that like there's just a lot more to discuss and like discover. And I thought that was like, to me, really refreshing with this set. And I'm excited to play more. And who knows, in 5 episodes, maybe in 3 episodes, I'm like, this is the worst set I've ever played in my life. But right now, it feels exciting. But did you get to draft it all, or sorry, go ahead.
No, not yet. I was hoping to after this podcast, but it doesn't look like we're gonna have enough players just lining up for it, which is totally fine. We'll get there. But what I was gonna say is they like have done away with a lot of stuff that have habitualized, I don't know what I'm trying to say, that are very common in other sets. Like there's no just random pool of generic 2-for-6s that are like okay to fill your deck with, right? I guess maybe those are some of the lightning cards. But even then they have like weird text on them that kind of matters, like the 2-for-5 that if you play an instant and break a flow, it gets go again or whatever, and then like whatever the 1-for-5 is that gets an embodiment of lightning, like there's just kind of like more, I don't know, they've taken away some of the like, I don't know, guardrails we've had before, it feels like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's cool. That feels like a change we haven't seen. And when I was like trying to evaluate my cards, I was like, the fuck, did like all these pools suck? Maybe all these pools suck. Like I don't get it. All these cards are bad. I have to really play some yellows. And then I was like, actually some of these yellows are like actually really playable. Like of course of like it's not Comet Storm. What the hell is it? What's the wizard one that has Starfall on it? That's good. Hold on. Not Comet Collision. No. Meteoric Impact. Like it's even a good yellow, right? Like it's a 5 damage spell.
Yeah.
When you have Starfall in Volzar going. So like, of course it's not 6, but still that's good, right?
Yeah, it's I thought that a lot of it was cool to like challenge. There's like, I was like I felt I was re-evaluating my deck.
Yeah.
After every round, even when I would win, I'm like, it's like this didn't feel so good. It's like maybe it's just like, or I saw somebody else playing this one card. I'm like, maybe that's actually the thing, and it didn't feel cut and dry, which I really enjoyed. And then I don't think there was anything that felt too powerful in my experience. Honestly, I felt like there was a pretty clear plan to give you the best shot against Cecilio. It's like, well, just stack up your lightning flows and try to find your lane, like to get the damage in and play it slower. Like it sounds crazy to say, like play the game slower in the lightning so that it doesn't have to be whatever, go. So
yeah.
Oh, it's fun. I think it's fun, and I'm excited to see how it kind of, because like the draft I did was like quick, and it was like prize packs, and we're like, all right, we just kind of played one round really quick and then went home. But
Yeah.
I feel like the decks we see at Nats and Pro Tour, I guess they're going to probably draft at Vegas as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to Vegas?
I am.
Nice.
Not the pro part, the calling part, but yeah, I'll be there. It's summer vacation, baby.
Oh.
Are you going?
No,
Please tell me you're going.
I'm going to Minneapolis.
God damn it, Tommy.
You know.
We vowed to hang out this year.
Yeah, well, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Okay.
In
all right.
Paris. No, I'm not going.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Why not? Sell your house.
Okay, yeah.
Sure,
honestly,
Lady Fresh should be into that.
Right now, some of the issues we wouldn't mind. No, but how much so the interesting thing about Nats coming up, I think this is less so with the Pro Tour, right? Because there's a lot of formats where it was split format. It was like, okay, this draft and CC where okay, we figured out draft. Now we can focus on CC. Will this be a set that it's going to take a little bit more time for these, competitive players to figure out this draft set? Or are they just going to make up their mind all right, this is how I'm approaching the draft, and that's it?
That's hard to say because I'm many tiers away from a pro player.
Don't say that.
And I would say it depends on your strategy on how you can use your time. And I would guess that because there were no real bans in CC, we know what the meta players are, right?
True.
And if you have somehow figured out a counter to all of those decks, you've been sitting on it for a while and you have it solved, right? CC is basically solved. We know what the top decks are. I don't really know if we're going to see something rogue happen. That would be the dream, right?
Sure.
That's the most exciting thing that can happen for sure. So then you could use most of your time for draft, right? And so you got to figure out okay, what are the 3-0 Acilio decks? What are the 3-0 Aurora decks? What are the 3-0 Ziggy decks? What's my pick order, etc. And then I think it's a really fun sandbox. I mean, I don't know how much time everybody has, but there would be a lot of playing around with stuff. Can I just do the lightning cards with which hero? Can I just play mostly lightning cards? You know what I mean? And can I do auras only in Ziggy and then just have kind of lightning cards, not cards that fragment? You know what I mean? So all of these things, what are the things I can do in the draft that gives me the most amount of knowledge to be able to handle the bunch of unknown scenarios.
I mean,
that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. I think that even playing around with the set already, you're oh, I wonder, because you look at these lightning cards, you're these are all good, right? They feel good to throw into the deck, but you kind of want to get some of the synergistic stuff as well. But
yeah,
it will be interesting. I'll be at Minneapolis, but for the viewers seeing what these U.S. national competitors are playing at these drafts, it's gonna be interesting. I'm sure they'll do a follow somebody draft thing on the coverage as well as they've done in the past, which would be kind of interesting.
I wonder, somebody has to have an idea out there to make the draft portion of a tournament more exciting for the viewer at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of downtime. Is following and talking about somebody's picks really that interesting? I don't know. How do we make it, I don't know, easier to understand, more whatever, we need to, that is the next area of stream innovation that we need to see, is how do we make that really, really interesting?
Yeah, that would be it. It would be. It's tough, right? I think you just need more resources for it, but I think you could, because they do the stream delay now, right? You could essentially film, tell all the players at a certain draft table, just let the camera see, right? Like we're gonna have a camera on all of you, right? Just let them see, and then I guess technically you could digitize what happened in the draft and kind of like go through it and just have the analysts kind of say, look at what happened here. He's like, oh, this happened in this pack, and then we saw so and so switch off in this pack, and like you don't even have to do it in the full, thing. But that is like a lot of resources, and might be tough. But
man, that would be sick though to have a top down view and see what the packs are and who they are, and then like at 2x speed as they pick, right? And then you can draw. Then they could actually do the zoom in.
Yeah.
And draw on the screen, and you know what I mean? That would be sick.
A lot like, like in when it's halftime at like a NFL game and they're showing like, the highlights, just like, and then it can stop and like, boom, this person did this, why, etc. But kind of neat. Now, we all agree it's pretty cool so far. We've been enjoying it. Do you think the common thread talent class thing is the way to go for draft sets going forward? Or, because we saw the pirate being the common thread in High Seas, and that was a banger, right? Of a draft set. Now we have Lightning and Omen. And then you had that nice mix in Rosetta, which I thought was pretty cool as well. Do you think this is the way, or we can experiment with other stuff? Because, like, you look at like Welcome to Wraith was a lot of fun too.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that makes Welcome to Wraith really fun is that you don't get, the generics in that set basically are the lightning cards, right?
Yeah.
Like, Savage Feast costs 1, and Razor Reflex can be cast upon Savage Feast.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, that's sick that you can do that, And there's like, other generics that pair with that. So you really could do that in Bravo too and stuff, So like those sort of things are really cool from that set. And I don't know, I'm not a game designer. I would like them to push the envelope a little bit. Like I would rather them flop a draft format, which maybe was like Bright Lights, where they did like, it's going to be all mechanologist. That was kind of a big swing. I feel like I was on the podcast for that too.
Maybe. Yeah, probably at some point. I mean, Bright Lights was interesting because to me, the decisions within the draft were awesome. And then the gameplay was like where it really faltered. But
yeah. And that was where we were, I think, in draft back then. It's like we could have really fun gameplay and really poor drafts.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did not feel like Uprising draft was that fun to draft, but I felt like those games were really fun.
Oh yeah, they were awesome.
I mean? And so, but I want them to like maybe Scurv is definitely a pushing the envelope thing. I would love to see that more. Maybe when this is drafted situation is also cool.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's, some fourth wall stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, why not? Like you already, like there's plenty of cards we're never going to play already.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
You know what I mean? So why not throw this in there? I mean, there's, I've talked with Eachin and Oliver from the RIP, the OK and Y podcast, and there could even be like, you take out all of the armor in the set and like you put it in the middle of the table, and part of the draft is you have to draft money to then buy your armor.
Right? Yeah.
So then like pick order or like however you determine who gets to buy what, would matter on like how much money you have. So like just weird shit like that. Let's have like a extra little game in there.
Whoa, come on.
You know what I mean?
I mean, this is probably more in the cube realm with the drafting money, but like because that's always the toughest thing with cube. And this is a total aside, is like, how do you do the equipment for my cube? I just make sure there's always one equipment in every pack. But what if you just have a draft of random gold, silvers, and coppers, and everybody's got to draft them and stuff like that, and then everybody then takes turns like buying the different. Oh, that's cool. I mean, it's just a board game at that point. It just sounds like Dominion. But
yeah, a little bit, Yeah.
But oh man, sick. No, I think that'd be cool. Now, I don't really have a lot of thoughts on these heroes in CC or Silver Age right now, but I was wondering if you did, because it's a little early. The initial win percentages were not kind, but they are complex heroes, I think.
I mean, it is. People forget on how Flesh and Blood heroes happen. You know what I mean? Let's just take Syndra, for example, right? Instantly came out. Everybody said that she was broken. 2 weeks later, unplayable.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden, broken again. Now unplayable. You know what I mean? So it's just like Acilio from Rosetta wasn't like the hero. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It took a long time to cook on that deck. It took a long time for Verdance to cook, So like many times a very powerful hero is in that set, and it takes a while for everybody to learn how to play it and what are the angles, because CC is like pretty complicated. You know what I mean? We forget because we get, habitualized with like how to play around stuff. What happens when freaking Kiss of Death comes out and they have 3 cards in hand, like what are we doing then? What's my health total? No blocks. Okay, great. Lysra attacks me. I'll block that. Okay, double T-Tox. Ah, shit. So it's like it takes a while for us to learn how to really play some heroes. I mean, Pallades was like not came out as a rogue deck, a long time ago.
Yeah.
After the set had come out.
Same with Tough Nut, right? Like people were just like, well, you got to play Fatigue Tough Nut, and then like, spend dogs out here going 3 attacks wide with that hero.
Yeah, totally. It's just like, what the hell? What the heck? How many cards do you have? Yeah. You have 6 intellect in this hero? Yeah. So it's just like people will figure it out. And so I have no doubt that these heroes are going to be fine at some point in their life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, like, if I had to say, I'm like, Acilio just seems like tall arcane. So, figure it out. You can do cool stuff with them. And then, like, Aurora, like, it's just like a downgraded version of old Aurora. I'm sure people will figure that out pretty easily. Ziggy's the big question mark.
Yeah, Aurora kind of feels like vintage Viscerai a little bit.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a lot. You got to do a lot of work.
Yeah. Or you're just like, I don't know, this is a pretty good hand. Or like you got to figure out what your like little 3-card hands are and blah, blah, blah. And, in my sphere, people are psyched on Ziggy and they think it's like going to be pretty good with like Iris.
Yeah, I've heard
people believe in Ziggy,
like the Fatigue Ziggy. But I think I think there's like not like a red line, but like a Cheerios Ziggy out there. There's a lot of really powerful 0 costs in that pool. You just gotta believe. Just gotta believe. I've been saying that with every hero that I never win with. Just believe.
Yeah, just go Cheerios red line. You throw in friggin' Snatch in there. You throw in your Rabbles.
Oh,
I mean, one of those friggin' cards gets go again if it fractures,
Yeah, it's pretty. I hope people start playing Rabbles because I want to swing Frailine or Frail swing line everybody. It's a lot of fun. But, one final thought that I had actually when you mentioned a certain card a little bit ago, before we get to some listener questions, and just wanted to get your take on it. Razor Reflex, right? It's like, you look at it, right? That set, Welcome to Wraith, you had Pummel, you had Razor Reflex. On its face, they're both kind of like iconic in a way. Pummel definitely ran away with it. Is this like a prodigal son thing where like, Razor Reflex is home and just like, I'm going to do the dirty work here, and then Pummel comes back, everybody's happy, Should we be giving Razor Reflex its due?
I think unfortunately, like Razor Reflex has been outclassed by so many things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like scar tissue is just sicker. It costs 0 and marks them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lightning Press is sicker. It interacts with like cards in a different way that's way more powerful. I think Razor Reflex is kind of like now your like uncle that you love, but like talks about their heyday in sports a little bit,
Sure. Glory days in a little bit.
Yeah. In not a like sad way, just in a like, oh, I freaking love you, Uncle Razor Reflex. Like, that's so cool. You used to be good and Welcome to Wraith, and like you were given pluses to ninja weapons and cards and warrior cards. And yeah, I remember that time you did that in a Bravo deck. Like, that's freaking awesome. Good for you.
I just want a t-shirt that has just like Razor Reflex replace the head of some, uncle looking guy in his button open Hawaiian shirt, sitting there with his Miller High Life, couple Marlboro Reds, just like, oh, Uncle Razor Reflex.
Uncle Razor Reflex.
Uncle Ray Ray. But anyway, we got some listener questions to talk about here. People were very excited that you're back on the show. First question comes from Badger Rooney, who asks, Honorable Taylor, what advice would you have for someone that wants to get better at Limited? Is this a good set to jump into? And how is your mustache so majestic?
Okay. I'll answer the mustache one first. You massage it 10 minutes before bed every single night. And then you whisper to it, you're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. I love you. And then it'll be incredible. So there you go. Those are your beauty tips. Yeah, I mean, any Limited set is the best set to jump into to get better at Limited. I think one of the big skills that is really helpful is learning how to pitch stack. And that is like always, I feel like in every draft set, there's been a scenario where I'm like, good God, I'm so glad I have kept like a rough idea of what is left in my deck, because I now need to make a decision based upon like, what are these 8 cards, or 12 cards or whatever, So that, and is way easier in Limited, in my opinion, because of the amount of times you get to see those cards. Like you get to draft them, so you get to see them. Then you get to make sure they're in your 30, so you see them again, and then you get to like play with them, and there's not as many to remember, and there's not that as many copies to keep track of, right? Your deck is like a little bit more asynchronous. I feel like those things kind of help rather than it being homogenous and that being like, I don't know, sometimes a little harder or whatever. So that's a really good skill to have. And then your knowledge of like timing windows and that sort of thing is also like going to be, I think, pretty important in this set. And always in Limited, your ability to think creatively. You know what I mean? because you'll need to use cards in different ways, because you'll be in really weird scenarios, because that's like part of it is like learning how, with these very few resources, how can you get the most out of them every hand, every game, etc. So yeah, just play and try stuff and do things, right? And don't be afraid that if it didn't work this time, it might not work again. You know what I mean? Like play. And like, I mean it, play, not just like sit down and play. I mean like play as in joy, have joy.
Where's the joy? Great answer, Taylor. That was excellent.
Thanks. Great question. My guy.
Next question comes from William, friend of the pod, Tables and Legs. Can every set just be a limited set? I ask you, Taylor, as I know you make the game.
Hey, thank you. I'm glad somebody finally has unearthed that little bit of LSS lore.
You've been writing those articles.
It's so funny when your article says it's written by LSS and then you use the word I, so the being LSS. Yeah, why not, dude? And if every set's going to be limited, like I said, let's make it weird. Let's get weird. If we're going to have a supplemental set, let's just have a draft set, right? I know Magic has done it. People think of that fondly. Like, why not? Get weird with it. If we're going to do mastery packs, let's do a draft mastery pack.
That'd be sick. Isn't that just bright lights?
Yeah.
Capullo asks.
Crack Shuffle play is underrated.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with the Guardian Crack Shuffle play, and I'm excited for the Warrior. It's going to be...
Hell yeah.
I'm assuming they're doing it with Warrior. But next question comes from Capullo, who asked, how do you like your limited formats? More on rails or more flexible? And do you think Crack Bauble is a perfect designed filler? Any changes would you make to it?
Shout out to Capullo.
Shout out.
Hopefully he's getting some sleep with his child. Shout out to his spouse, who also is hanging out with that child. You know,
yeah. I think they're in Puerto Rico right now. Having a good time.
Okay. Jesus. Sounds nice.
Yeah.
I like them to be less on rails, so more of an open environment. Let's be, like I've said, I think a lot of times, let's have cards be modal. Let's be creative. Let's have shit get weird. What was the rest of that question? I forgot because I was just thinking about.
And then the Crack Bauble. Do you think that's the perfect designed filler, or would you change anything about it?
I think it's great. What I would change is the fact that every set we were getting drafting for a while, the Crack Bauble art was kind of changing, and that was like a little lore bit, and then now we've just stopped that. Come on, what is happening?
Stay tuned for set 20, bro.
It's gonna be cool. It's not. That's too many things. It's not gonna be in there.
That's where
they have
the
this idea.
Young Demon came from.
This is the 60% idea that they have. They're like, we were almost there, but 40% were like, nah, it's not the right time to have the Crack Bauble hatch.
It'll be on the last set ever. It hatches into.
It'll just be James White.
Yeah.
As a dragon.
As a dragon. Hopefully not AI generated though. But we have another question from Taylor, who asks, why is he so hot? We're just gonna skip past that one. Who asked that one?
That makes sense. Yeah, kind of a softball question there. Anyway,
yeah. Darth Prentice, aka Greg, asked, "How has running changed you both physically and spiritually? And also, which hero from Flesh and Blood would be the best / worst running buddy?"
Well, I talked about it at the top of the show. Definitely the feeling more capable, right? That I feel like I have this capacity to just be able to like run and be able to just like do things easier in my life has been really great. That has been super good in that way. And like just the joy it brings me to like go do it with my dog and be in the forest. Like literally when I was like 6 through probably 11, like for 5 years, I literally would do that like every day after school if it was nice, or like on the weekends would just like find a cool stick and like put on like a costume from the costume box and like go run in the woods with my dog Lucy, who would just like follow me around everywhere, and it was fun as hell. I mean, sometimes it was like, come on, dude, mom, I just want to freaking play video games inside. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to have to go outside. Just let me play video games, please. But I thank her for forcing me to go outside, because now getting to do that as uh, an adult in my free time with my dog is just like very, very fulfilling. We were talking about this in the Discord on our podcast, like kind of how like when you look at fire, you can maybe time travel to ancient man. Like they were also looking at this fire, you know what I mean? Or the
Yeah.
moon or whatever, I feel like that when I'm just like running in the forest with my dog, like, oh man, this is ancient man, or just them and their wolves, like tracking down prey or whatever. And, literally I'm just like, I got like a stupid hydration vest on with like my water at my tits that I'm sucking off of. And my dog's got like a special little harness, and we have a leash and that sort of, and I have all these accessories, blah, blah, blah. But, I really did have like so there's this one particular trail in the Humboldt County area where there was this big, in the 90s / early 2000s, there's this big environmental protest for anti-logging to save like a old growth redwood forest, right? And we don't have that many of those left, really. And this woman like sat in a tree for a really long time, etc. And so they finally turned it into a preserve, basically. And there's now a trail that you can take out to this old growth redwood forest, and it's like it barely sees any traffic because it's like 5 miles to get there, and then you do this tiny little loop where you get to see a little bit of it. And you feel like you're out there forever, and it climbs up on this ridge, and so you have to do this like the hardest part of the whole run like really quickly. It's really steep, and you're just like, motherfuck, dude. You feel a little lost. You're like, when is this gonna be over? Like, I'm ready for this to be done. Like, let's see the friggin' trees. And so you kind of have to work to see this view. And then when you do, it's just like this beautiful amphitheater / feels like a cathedral of the biggest, cleanest redwoods you've ever seen in your life. And like the ferns are like person height, like Tommy Fresh height out there. And there's like not a bunch of debris and stuff. And it's just like a really healthy, functioning ecosystem. And it's like quiet, like even the animals know that this is like a for lack of a better term, like kind of a sacred place, and you get to like pass through it for a little bit, and you're like really close to like fucking huge trees, dude, and you can't see the tops of them and shit, and it's just freaking awesome. And so then you get to go do it, and then you get to run back, and you're stoked the whole time, and so that's what running is doing for me, is now I get to go do that stuff and it not be a chore. It gets to be a pleasurable experience that I get to run out there and see that beautiful thing, experience that thing, and then come on the way back and get a little bit of fitness on the way, so there you go.
That's awesome.
I
want to go. Oh my
Let's
God.
Go. It's fucking sweet.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I've never seen a redwood, so just imagining is awesome. And I like that you brought back heights, right? You said Tommy Fresh height. You know, a
Yeah.
little, you
Yeah.
know, bring it
Yeah,
full
you know.
circle.
Yep.
Yeah, full
Yep.
circle, like
I
the run. Um, now, what Greg's other part of the question? What
Oh, right.
Flesh and Blood hero would be the best / worst running buddy?
Okay. Gosh, best / worst. Best / worst.
The best and the worst, I guess.
Okay, so the worst I'm going to say is going to be old him because he's not really a talker.
Yeah,
You know what I
sure.
mean? And he kind of just like, I think, just be breathing loud, and he'd be like a silent, annoying person.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just like, dude, isn't this awesome? And he just wouldn't say anything, you know, just keep trugging along.
He's a lumberer. He likes to lumber around too, I feel like.
You know, I'm pace positive. So whatever
Okay,
pace you want to run at, that's
all right.
fine. You don't need to be fast. But I just think he would be bringing nothing to the run except for that this is my duty and I must then do it. And then he would just do it. And then he would be like, that was adequate. And you'd be like, cool, old him. And then he's like, it's too hot. I got to get frosty. And you'd be like, all right, whatever, weirdo. Best running partner. Geez, that's so hard. I feel like I have to do all of this stuff like off of my dome, and that's really hard to do when you can't see them all, because maybe I'm gonna change my worst running partner is actually Acilio. He can't run, he's a robot, he has no legs. Sure. He's out instantly. I'm gonna say the best. God, why is this so hard to do? I'm gonna say Fi is the best running partner.
Oh,
I think he just gets it. You know what I mean? He's like, he's not bringing any of his ego. He's not gonna try to race you. You know, he's just gonna like hang out with you and freaking be present. You know?
Yeah, I was thinking
and have a lot
Dash,
to talk about.
but Dash might be a little too hyped up. You know,
I almost picked Max, but then I was like, yeah, he's gonna be like
just
a little too ADHD out there for me. I think
you didn't need to bring the wrench, bro. I mean, what do we? You know, we're out in the woods.
Yeah, I think Puffin actually would be a good, because then also Polycranka's flying with you. My dog Hilda's there. Polycranka, Puffin. We're on a run. It's probably on a beach. It's freaking beautiful.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Beach running. Ooh, get those calves going. And then finally, one last question.
Oh my goodness.
Sigma asks, why is Aurora not as hot as you thought gameplay was?
I had me or the royal you know?
I don't, I mean, we're going to say you.
Oh, okay. I was lukewarm on Aurora Prime anyway, you know?
Okay.
Just one of the like, yeah, I get it. It's the best aggro deck and it has this combo, and, you know, the hipster in me was like, that's too good. I don't like it. Or I won't like it. Not that I had anything against her. It just was like not a hero I like fell in love with. I think this Aurora is cooler because they're maybe less powerful. So it's super hot, you know? I love it when stuff is like, people are like, yeah, it's just not as good. You got to like pitch cards and do some bullshit. I'm like, yes, I will figure out the bullshit. Love to do that. I think Scorpio Tail is cool. It's a cool weapon.
It really, in practice, once I've played against it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is like, I forgot how good attacking for free is, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, that's like really good. It's like Raiden's like one of my favorite weapons. Why wouldn't Scorpio be up there with it?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm going to spend all my resources for? Cards.
Yeah. My hand.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It's early. Aurora's going to be cool. Somebody's going to play Aurora. It's going to be cool. People are going to like it, you know?
I hope so, because I play Trap Riptide, so I love when people play Aurora. I loved when they played the last Aurora. I was like, get over here.
Now you got more traps. They're
Oh, yeah.
screwed.
Oh yeah, we're trapping trap music. I don't know. What am I saying? It's the end of the podcast, folks. Taylor, I love chatting with you. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Too. Dude, I love you too.
I love you. This is just I don't know. This is like the best vibe. Always is. I'm so glad you come on, and you're always raring to go. Just like number one. I can't pick a favorite guest, but if I did, it'd be when I do a solo ep. But you,
dude, look, I want a podcast with people who want a podcast with themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I agree.
I recently listened to a podcast, and the host always asks at the end, like, would you date me? And then the person they had on was a therapist, and they were like, well, hold on a second. Would you date yourself? And she was like, holy shit. Yeah, I would date myself. And then she was like, exactly, right? Like, I want to be with someone who loves themselves. So, yeah, I would date you. And so I'm like, hell yeah. That's a great energy to like yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
I like podcasting with myself. I don't know if I would date myself. That'd be a nightmare. But that's okay.
That's a different podcast. We can't.
Yeah, I know.
That's for next
apples
week.
And oranges.
We can't get into flesh and blood and dating. You know what I mean? That's a whole other thing.
But yeah, no, you're the best, Taylor.
Hey, thanks,
can you please plug anything and everything that you'd like to plug for the buds?
Yeah, like if this is the first time you have heard me and you're like, that guy was cool, then hey, thank you for thinking that. I appreciate that. You should go check out my other podcast I do with my other best friends called the Attack Action Podcast. It can be found pretty much everywhere you want to find podcasts, and it's on YouTube. And I would say both are good places to listen. You know, there's some visual aspects that are pretty funny to see, and so you are rewarded for your YouTube time, but it's also a great audio experience. I'm on Blue Sky. I think it's Taylor AAP, standing for Attack Action Podcast, .bluesky.com or whatever. So you could follow me there. I don't hold back on Blue Sky. I tell it how it is or whatever, you know, I don't know. And then I've been trying to say like a different thing every time there's a new episode, like what, you know, like enjoy your Friday, listen to this episode or whatever, you know. And they're getting more unhinged because I'm running out of clever stuff.
You're gonna have to dig into the well because you're gonna be back on as long as you want to be, of course.
Thanks.
But,
it's kind of like the lightest version of your Fresh and Buds, brought to you by Legs, the makers of arms, you know, or whatever.
Oh yeah,
your little adjunct in the front of your episode.
Legs, maker of arms. That's that one's great. I'm gonna say that at the beginning of this episode.
Running, jumping, kicking legs.
Legs. They're so cool. Not feet, just legs.
Just legs, yeah. Feet sold separately.
Yeah. But please do go check out Taylor if you haven't already, which, you know, I feel at this point most of you have. But if you haven't, you gotta. You can all find me on socials at freshbudspod, mostly just Blue Sky. Actually, just Blue Sky. I don't even go on X anymore unless I need to look at like a random tweet. But other than that, like, comment, subscribe to YouTube. and Patreon, Fresh Juice, Indie Game Podcast I do with my cousin. Check out the Buds Discord. It's all fun. It's all games. And
What are you guys
we
playing
like-
on Fresh Juice right now?
just started playing Mina the Hollower, which is from the creator of Shovel Knight, and it is sick. I will say
Really?
that.
Yeah, that's what people have said is instantly super good.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. So,
What's the hook in that? Platformer again?
No, so it's like top down, kind of almost Zelda-like, but has like these Metroidvania and Souls-like elements and a little bit of open world stuff going on as well. It's cool, and you're a mouse. So if that's
Redwall.
yeah, Redwall, dude. Brian
Books.
Jakes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Did you guys play Sea of Stars? Did you guys play that at all in your podcast?
No, I think that came out prior to us starting, but I've been wanting to get into it because what else did they make? They made something prior to Sea of Stars.
Gosh, you're right. They did.
I feel like I played that, whatever that was, but
Yeah, totally. It's pretty good. I did not beat it. I'm a habitual non-finisher of video games now. But huge hook in that is the soundtrack kicks fucking ass. I have it on vinyl. Yeah, it's so good.
Did they make The Messenger, that like ninja game, ninja platformer?
I think you're right.
Because that soundtrack slapped as well. So I wonder if they used the same person.
They might have. Now we have to just look this up, or else.
Yeah. This is the end of the show, folks. But
yeah,
we're hang around. We got to talk about food after we figure out if this was The Messenger. I feel like it was.
Why is this just not like other games they've developed? Maybe I didn't read it. Sea of Stars, Sabotage for first game, The Messenger. Great job.
Woo!
Sabotage Studios. Shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out. But yeah, that's what. Yeah, we're playing Mina the Hollower. I'd recommend it for anybody who is into that kind of retro, kind of fun stuff. It feels very new yet old at the same time, I would say, if that makes sense.
Right, love that.
But food. Shout out some food for me, real quick.
Hot dogs. It's hot dog summer, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Hot dogs. Let's go.
Can I show you something real quick before this is
Yes,
for
of course.
This is so I live in New Jersey, as many people know.
You do?
Yeah. And New Jersey's famous for their hot dog stands and like little spots. And I drive around New Jersey all the time for my job. So I started going to as many hot dog spots as I can and just rating them by my own little. We're rating them based on the hot dog itself, the variety they offer. You got to get the vibe in there. Is it a good vibe?
What do you mean by variety? So you're like, we're talking like this one's a spicy dog, this one's a brat. Like, we talking that?
It can be that, or it can be like, oh, we're doing some crazy toppings. Like a low variety is just like, yeah, you're getting mustard, kraut, ketchup, whatever.
Relish, done.
And then price. You got to get price in there because, it's tough out there. The economy's tough, and hot dogs, they can be very affordable. So, number one in New Jersey for me, Hiram's in Fort Lee, right off the George Washington Bridge for any New Yorkers out there. Hop on over, get a nice hot dog.
Hell yeah.
But
I have been doing sharp cheddar cheese,
obviously,
and a garlic mayo.
Whoa! Okay.
On the bun, then a dog, spicy dog, and then the kraut. Put some kraut on there too. Ooh. Ketchup and mustard too.
I like that a lot. Now,
sometimes a pickle. Sometimes
a pickle. I like it. I'm a big fan of the spicy brown kraut. Like, if I'm just like, I gotta have something I can trust, I'm doing that. But last year I got into the Seattle dog, like that cream cheese, caramelized onion.
Yep.
Oh, with the fresh jalapenos. Ooh. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Seattle dog. Yeah, it's hot dog summer, baby.
Oh yeah. It sure is, but it's not Charmer episode, but we'll get to them next time. Stay fresh.